Hi guys, this is Tim with InflatableOffice and Event Office, and I'm going to show you today some of the new worker settings that are available in the Office upgrade, or what we're calling the beta site for all of you who are existing users. Um, so some of the new things that we're doing here were things that previously were only allowed to be set per account, and as we've redesigned a lot of this stuff, we realized that there are some of those things were actually pretty important that a worker account would be able to set them, not just a global thing across all accounts. So we've added some of those settings to the worker profile and some things that didn't exist before. So first thing we see here is the start day of the week. This is obviously for the calendar. You can set that. You are always able to do that as a user for a main global account setting, but now it is available per worker. This is the same sort of thing where we have the default lead report, which before was only possible as the main account, but now you can set it for any worker as well. So if you have an employee or worker that's got to see certain things when they're working on the leads, and they want to put those certain things in that lead list view, it's simple as setting up a report and then choosing that report. This is a demo data account, so obviously it has some funky report stuff in it right there when I clicked on that. But yeah, you make a report, you name it, and then you can choose it from here, and that will automatically apply when you load the lead list. And of course, you can always clear that report and go back to the default, or you can choose a different report should you want to do that. Also, the homepage. So this is something new that we didn't really allow for before, but now you can have it set up so that when a worker logs in, they go to a specific page. That's good for cases where workers may be limited to only seeing certain things based on their permissions. Taking them to the same page that we take everybody to, that maybe something that they don't have permission for is not very convenient. So we gave you now the ability to choose the page, and it's limited right now, but you can choose some different pages that they can go to, and we can always change that if you guys have recommendations and add some new options there. So additionally, we have now a new thing called a save prompt. So we have the ability to set the system such that when you're working on an item and you go to navigate away from there, if you haven't saved your changes, it will alert you. And that's something that a lot of people have asked for over the years. And so we do have that built in at this point, so you don't accidentally lose data that you meant to save and you forgot to save. So you can set that per worker. I know some people will be annoyed by those prompts. And so you don't have to turn that on if you don't want. Another thing is the time and date format. Those are new to the worker as well. So now you can set whether the worker needs to see 12 or 24-hour time, and also pick a different date format. We only have 2 options right now, but should other options need to be added, we can always add those as well. So anyway, I just wanted to show you some of the new things that you can do inside the workers module for the worker profile in the new system. So, and we'll be adding a lot more to this as well. Oh, one more thing too, we can also set the language. So if you have the case where you might be doing like a large franchise and you have locations all over, maybe in different countries and so forth, you can set that language to be different depending upon where that worker is, what their language is, and what they're going to need to be able to see this system in. So right now we have a couple options here. We can add any language you want. So, and we generally do that based on as we get people that have interest in adding a language, we will add it. I think we have Spanish and some other ones too. They're not showing in here. So but yeah, and this language is will translate the majority of the back-end system, and places where we're missing that translation, we will be happy to make the updates for you so that you can see that, so your worker can see those and understand it properly. So yeah, those are just a few different things that we wanted you to be aware of. There is also one other thing here. I can't really show you because I'm not logged into that multi-location account, but in the case of a multi-location account, when you're doing working with a worker for multi-location, we now have the ability for you to specify a different email address per location. So a lot of times people use locations for geographical locations of franchise, like maybe one location would be Ohio and another one would be California, and they may have two different warehouses and basically two different businesses or franchises running in those. And they may want to, in those cases, normally the emails are not going to change too much, because it's usually, if it's a franchise, it's the same domain. But in the case where we see quite often where people are running multiple brands through our system, they'll set them up as locations as well, and maybe they provide different services under those brands. And so you a lot of times in those cases will want a different domain and a different email address that you're sending from, and a different email address that you want to check maybe for your IMAP settings and so forth. Anyway, we can do the from email address now. So you can set up, based on your location, when you pick the locations, there will be a field there as well for the email address. And you can type in the email address that you want to use. So you aren't limited to this just single address that's in here right now. So anyway, I hope that those little improvements will help you all out. And as always, feel free to comment if you have questions and make suggestions. Thanks, guys.